This is the 2024 BMW i5 M60 xDrive. Is it a better alternative than the i7? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today, Carrie and I are at Orr BMW in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to give you the particulars on this model. And you might say, well, why would I want the i5 over the i7? Well, for one thing, you wouldn't pay quite as much. For another thing, you might want something that's not quite as big. Maybe a little more sporty handling, although I'll say this is our follow-up video to the i7 that we just recently did. It's not lacking for feeling sporty and being fast, but we'll see how those compare as we work our way through the video here. The one thing that's a little bit of a surprise here is that you have the projector style headlights. They're not on right now, but they are here. The turn signal indicators, I think, have a little bit more of a modern look to them than the headlights do. A lot of people may not even care about that, but that's what's here in case you are curious. I do like the fact that we have full functionality here across the entirety of the front end, including the active air curtains right here. That definitely helps out not only with reducing drag and improving aerodynamics, but it just offers a nice look that it's not a faux vent. And you also have the active vents right here. These actually will open. So that's something that happens as needed. From what I understand, you can actually rig that to where they stay open. I wouldn't recommend that. I think people probably like the way that looks. Not necessarily something you need to do. They'll open as needed depending on what the battery itself needs as far as cooling goes. And we'll work our way around to the side right here. xDrive, obviously all-wheel drive. How about our tire and wheel setup right here? So we're gonna have 245 on our width, a 40 series sidewall wrapped around the 20-inch wheels. Now something as far as I go, I like to make sure that my vehicle somehow looks different than everybody else's without making it look gaudy. But since you have the red brake caliper right here, I think it would be nice to have red just on the very edges right here on this portion of the wheel, maybe not on this wider section of the spokes. Tell me what you think about that. Everybody's different, but it would be nice to maybe do something like that just to separate yourself apart. That's what I like to do. Body colored mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in. I know everybody's looking for that. Your blind spot monitoring, power adjustable side view mirrors, and you'll also have your cameras underneath. Now let's see if I can get this out. Here is your remote. Has that nice appropriate look to it, being nice and sporty. You'll also have some buttons there on the side. And as is typical when you have a high performance model from BMW, the back tires are a little bit of a different size than the front tires. We're looking at 275 on the width here. Not quite as easy to show you, but there it is. 35 series sidewall, and again, 20-inch wheels. Now I will say that as we work our way back here to the rear taillights, what other taillights would you have besides rear, right? To the taillights, let's say that correctly. I do like the modern look that these have compared to those projector beam headlights. I don't know, that just seems kind of outdated. Tell me what your thoughts are on that. i5 logo, obviously the BMW logo there in the middle, and your M60 logo. A little bit of a spoiler here to round things out. That looks sporty, but based on horsepower, how sporty is this model to drive? Let me give you those numbers. All right, let's open the, I guess you could call it a frunk, even though we don't have your typical frunk here. Apparently a lot of people don't use this space in their EVs, and so BMW just didn't do that here. Now we can actually take the cover here and look underneath. We have things turned on so you can kind of hear what's going on. Before I give you all the numbers on this model, I'm gonna let Carrie give you a better look at that in just a second. Check out this cover right here. Here's what's interesting about this. It's so big that you could almost take it and jump off of a building like this and fly. You could go and turn it upside down and go sledding with it. It's a multitasker. Okay, let's get to the real numbers. I'm gonna let Carrie finish showing you what's underneath there. 590 horsepower, 586 pounds-feet of torque. Driving distance on a single charge, 256 miles. Your warranty on the battery is 96 months or 100,000 miles. Charge times on a 220 volt outlet, 10 hours, DC fast charger, 180 to 200 miles of range in 30 minutes. That's not too bad. It will be very interesting to get out for our test drive and see if whether or not Carrie needs to go to the hospital, because this one is going to be fun.
So let's talk about practicality in this i5 M60. First of all, how do you like it from what you've seen so far? I think it's pretty nice. You have a camera right here in the back, where most of them are on cars. We've already seen your BMW emblem. You know, it's a nice color, black, kind of sparkly. You don't open the trunk through swiping. That doesn't work on this vehicle. There's a latch underneath here, underneath the BMW emblem, that you pull that, and it opens. To close it when you're at that point, the usual things you see in cars, you have your button here to close it, or you can close it and lock it. You have 17.3 cubic feet of cargo space here. You have a little storage right there on the right. You have your emergency get out of the trunk latch there if you get stuck in the trunk. Some little cargo latches right here. I think those are the exact same that we saw in the i7 on a previous review. You have right here a little storage bag that has the tow hook on the front in this bag on this side, and it has a air compressor because there's no spare for this vehicle. You have some storage underneath this flat floor. It's high, but it's totally flat. There's no incline to it. Pretty deep. Underneath here, you have a little bit of storage for all of your charging cables, for your fast chargers, your home chargers down there, and anything else you want to put down there that'll fit underneath this. This does come up. It doesn't latch onto anything, but it does flip all the way over. To totally maximize your cargo space, you have latches right here to pull on either side, left and right, that lowers your seat down. I'll pull those now. I'll go to the front and pull them down in a second, but you also have some tie downs here, two in the back, two in the front, where you could put bungee cords or whatever to secure things that you might want to carry on your floor. Let me go to the front right here and let the seats down. There is no pass-through for the center, but your seats do go down. They're not totally flat, but as we say, it is what it is. You get what you get. But you can maximize your total cargo space by putting your seats down right there, and then you just flip them back up when you're done. They're really easy. There's no power to them, but they go back up and you get what you get. How about this door? Let's talk about this rear seat area first. But on this door, I'm going to talk about it from this side. You just watch it from that side. These doors, matter of fact, I'm gonna come where Tom is over here. I want to show you one thing in this vehicle here. You do not get soft close doors. So in case you're expecting that, you don't get it. They do not soft close. Okay, so they are what they are. I'm gonna go back around to the other side. Let's talk about this rear seat area. Start with this door right here. You have a nice door bin. I mean, it's appropriate for the size of this vehicle. You have a bottle holder in here. If you look at that bottle holder, it has a shape to it that does not lend to your bottle standing up. You kind of angle it to the front. Speaker, Bowers & Wilkins, good stereo system. A little grab handle storage space right there. There's your handle. If you remember the BMWs from previous generations, there was a trim on the bottom of the door that was called the hockey stick trim. This door handle is like an upside down version of that. I have a 7 Series and it has that same upside down version of that trim in there. The armrest test. Let's see what Tom thinks about the armrest test. Tom says it's okay. The only problem I see with the armrest is that this panel right here, it's not soft enough. It is kind of hard, but my test of a vehicle is, can I ride in it for 1,000 miles? Would I put my arm on that for 1,000 miles? Not sure, but there's plenty of room. I'll say that. The seat, on the back of the seat here, you have a little latch that you can pull down to attach various items to it. And there's also a USB on top of it. It looks like there's an ambient light feature on top of that also. On this seat, these seats are not leather. They have it's like a leatherette type material, but it is kind of soft. There's a nice pattern on it on the bottom and on the seat back. You have your ISOFIX points for car seats. They have hinges on them, so you don't have to worry about losing them. That's nice. And they snap in nice and tight. You have seat belts for 3 people in here. Would you do that? I don't know, but you could. I'm gonna take a seat in here. And we're gonna talk about this armrest first, the center armrest. It does pull down. There is no pass-through here, so it's just hard right there. You have a headrest for the... Tom just proved me wrong. There is actually a pass-through. So I didn't see that knob from the side I was on. So there is a pass-through in there. You have 2 cup holders right here. And, you know, the thing about these cup holders that we always talk about is that it would be better or nicer if they were vertical instead of horizontal, so that when you put bottles in there front and back, it gives more room for you to put both elbows on this armrest. But again, it is what it is. You do not have 3-zone climate control here, just zones from the front, and you get in the back what the driver gives you. You have adjustments here for your vents, left and right, up and down, and you can turn them on and off, but you cannot control how much air or heat you get back here. You have 2 USBs back here and a little bit of storage right here. It is not wireless. There's a little hump here in the floor. You know, I'm kind of wondering why there's a hump in the floor, because this is an electric vehicle, but maybe there's a battery in there. So if you're the 3rd passenger in the middle, you got to deal with that. As far as my seating position right here, it is not uncomfortable. The seat is not far back as I would like it, but it's not uncomfortable. There's plenty of space underneath the seat, so I can stretch out comfortably well right here. Could I do this for 1,000 miles? Probably not. A couple hundred miles at a time? Probably. You have grab panels up here for spirited driving, which I will probably be using later on in this video. You have lights in the top up here for your reading desires in the back. And other than that, I mean, I think it's a nice vehicle. It's compared to the i7, not nearly as much room, but for the sporty nature of it, this is definitely the one to pick. So you've driven the max miles range on your battery, and now you need to charge this thing up. How do you do that? Passenger side, behind the door, there's your door. You press it and it opens, and there are your charge connections right there. You have your regular charger there for when you're at a charging station, and you have your fast charger right here beneath it. And when you're done charging, you simply close the door, get back in your car, and start driving again.
And the sticker price, $92,095. And I'll tell you what, Kerry just made me the deal of a lifetime. He said I could pay the $90 if you come in. I'll give that to you, and he'll give you the $5. Maybe that's not the deal of a lifetime, is it? What are friends for? I guess I need to deduct that from his pay. Let's take a look at the passenger side door panel there. And you'll see that we have the ambient lighting right underneath that speaker right there. We'll try and get into a darker atmosphere to give you a better view of that later on. And one thing that's interesting, speaking of that speaker, is that the speaker is smaller on the front door than it is on the rear door. That kind of seems out of place, but I guess that's not that big of a deal. And how about the armrest? Let's see what Kerry thinks about that. We'll let him give you his thoughts on that. Not as soft, I guess, but if you put your arm up there, there you go. It feels a little bit better, a little more space. Now, what's very interesting here is the door bin. It doesn't look that strange, but it actually has this space that goes literally as far back as you can reach. In fact, it goes all the way back as far as it's possible to go. I guess that's meant to maybe give you additional space for a bottle, something like that. If you want a spare bottle in there, I don't know. But very interesting one way or another. You can see the control for the window there. All that stuff is there. And your upside down hockey stick, once again, door handle right there. And we'll work our way here into the interior with the nice seats. The bolstering is here. That's a good thing for when I take off and take a sharp corner with Kerry in the passenger seat about to faint. And power seats, obviously power adjustable, very comfortable. I like the pattern here. Let's hop on inside here. Something that will be dramatically different here from the i7 is with the i7 you had to go and touch the screen right here in this general area to open the glove box. Here you have just a good old-fashioned release handle, which is what Kerry's using right there. He'll show you what's on the inside of that area. Quite a bit of space. That's always a good thing. Plenty of room. Now we work our way up to the center screen. Let's see what we have here. Obviously, for those of you who like to know about built-in navigation, there you go. You do have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone. Well, what do you think about this? The fact that you have your controls here for everything, including your ventilated and heated seats, your heated steering wheel as well, but everything to do with the air conditioner here in the screen. Do you like that? Do you not? Does it make no difference? There's probably some people out there that might say, you know what, I really think that's a pretty cool feature. And you can go in and change anything you want to. Lighting, all that good stuff, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Pretty simple to deal with, pretty simple to figure out. Let's see if we can get to a different screen here. There is our home button. We can connect a device right there if we want to. Easy to deal with. And one thing I do want to make sure I show you here is our multiple camera views. And you'll notice that we have our front view camera. Obviously, we have a rear view camera as well. We're going to have our side view cameras here. We can take a look around the vehicle, see what's going on, and we'll go back here. Come right here and take a look, as well as some of the other views. We have your 3D view where you can actually look around the vehicle and see what's going on. Let's see if we can figure that out. Make sure I'm doing that right. We're still learning our way around the vehicle apparently, but pretty easy to deal with. Depending on what you need to see and where you need to see, you can see what's going on there. And you might have noticed this car wash view. What exactly is that? Well, if you drive into a car wash, that way you don't have to have someone to guide you into place. You can see what's going on, pretty easy to figure that out. And obviously you have camera cleaning as well. If you want to change the front view or clean the front view, you can maybe see that working right there. There it goes, it's cleaning things off. Basically a camera washer is what that is. A little bit different than a lot of the camera washers we show here, but that's how it works. And you can see some of your controls right here for different features, depending on what you want to use. Automatic emergency braking, drive off monitoring. You can see it all there. Pretty easy to figure out, I'd say. And the controls right here, you can see what's going on. If you want to control the direction of your air, this is how you do it. Kind of interesting because the vents are just so small right there, but very interesting to use. I like that, however. I like the way that works. I think that's pretty cool. Down here, we'll also have wireless charging only on one side. It should be on both sides. There should be one here. There's room for it. I don't know why they don't put that in. Cup holders right here, a little bit of ambient lighting around that as well. You can also see a couple of USB ports right there to start and stop power right here. There's your shifter, pretty easy to figure out what's going on there. And for those of you who don't want to touch your screen, that's what all of this is for. That way you don't have to worry about getting any fingerprints on your screen. You can go home right there. You can see what's there, pretty easy to deal with. There's the control for your radio, muting, unmuting, volume, all that stuff. Bombay doors here as well. And you can see that we have some space in there, not a massive amount of space, but there is some space. And last but not least, we'll take a look here to the upper console because I'm going to show you that we have a power shade right there for your sunroof that does tilt and slide open. That's actually as far as that goes back. But if you need to do something with that, you can do something with it.
Hey, vehicle visionary fans and YouTube watchers, this is Kerry for Kerry's Driving Lounge, going over the driving area of this 2024 BMW i5 M60. Tom is in here right now. He's out doing something while I'm doing my driving lounge, so he won't see this until editing comes. But when you make comments on this, give Tom a congratulations because he doesn't know it, because he doesn't watch numbers. This is his 50,000 subscriber video. He wasn't aware of that. I noticed last night on our numbers that he finally hit 50,000 subscribers last night. So when you make comments, congratulate him. And to you, Tom, from me and Driving Lounge, congratulations on hitting 50,000 subscribers. Your hard work is paying off. So let's talk about what's going on here. On your driver's door, you have your usual controls here for mirrors. This is your folding mirror button. You can see they're folding. And your mirror controls left and right, and your adjustments. Your automatic up and down door buttons are right there, and this is the button to lock those doors out. Here's your button on your door pocket to open the trunk. You have a dead pedal right here and your gas and brake pedal. Underneath there somewhere is the latch to open your hood. Your hood. You pull it twice to unlock it. There's your knob for your tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Doesn't move very fast, but it gets there eventually. There are some light control buttons right there. You have a very, very, very sporty feeling steering wheel here, nice and thick with your little red sporty line right there on the top. 3-spoke, flat bottom. You really feel like a Formula One driver in this, I would imagine. You have your blue around your airbag indicator to show that you are in an electric vehicle. I'm assuming that's what that blue is for. You have a spoke here on the left side for your cruise control. You have one on the other side here for your radio and telephone activation, channel selection, and your speaker to push that to talk to the vehicle. And you have a spoke on the bottom here that's just a design feature that M does not do anything when you push it. Your airbag button is plastic, or not button, but your airbag cover is plastic. It'd be awesome if it was the same texture as the steering wheel. It's not, but it is what it is. I can't turn the steering wheel very well right now. Let me turn this vehicle on. Here is your button to start this vehicle. You press the brake, press it, it comes on, and the screen lights up. And it is amazing for an electric vehicle sitting still. This steering is so light once it gets going. It feels so light. You have your turn signal indicators right here on this stock. You are left turn signal, right turn signal. They do work. You should probably use those things. And there is your high beam control button right here, pulling, pushing to get your high beams to come on. On your other side, you have your wiper controls, on, off, fast, high, low, automatic, and your squirters to squirt water on the window. On the screen here, I'm not sure what this is. iDrive, this is probably iDrive 8, I think. We're probably up to iDrive 8. Somebody let us know. On your screen, you have a button there for your indicator that shows that we're in park. Here is that lever that you pull, and when I pull it, it goes into, it switches over here. It shows that I'm in drive. Then you have reverse, and there's your reverse camera. I'm in neutral now, and whenever I'm ready to go back to park, press the park button, and the park indicator shows up in the corner. Now I can take my foot off the brake. There's also auto hold there also. I'm not sure if Tom showed you that. Speedometer goes to 160 miles an hour. I'm sure it can probably do that. You have RPM gauge on the other side over here. You have, is that a battery? No, I'm sorry, that's a power battery indicator, 100 RPM percent charge. There's also an adaptive function on this that you would set down through in the screen somewhere for adaptive. For BMW users, you're familiar with that. There's a speed limit indicator button there. There's a clock down there. There's a battery charge amount indicator there showing this has 82% charge. Temperature gauge, 76 degrees right now. There's also a feature here that shows how many seatbelts are being worn. Nobody's wearing seatbelts in this car right now because it's only me in here, and I'm not wearing a seatbelt because I'm not going anywhere right now. You have 194 miles of range, and here's a little gauge here that shows what charging state you're in, whether you're plugged in for charging or not, which we are not right now. Visor. Does this vehicle pass the visor test? Does it extend out? No, it does not. This vehicle fails the visor test. There is a light there in the mirror. Let's move the visor over and see how much of the window it covers. It misses this piece on the back right here, and there's no extension for it, but you know, it is what it is, as we say. There's a grab handle right here. Every door has a grab handle on this. The seat belt does not have a height adjustment, so you know, if the seat belt's too high or low for you, you have to adjust that through the seat, unfortunately. And we have up top here, Tom covered the roof, but you also have the lights, and you have a camera right here, which I'm assuming that camera's for the back seat. It probably projects on the screen right here. We didn't go that far. This isn't our vehicle to play around with too much. You have your light buttons right there, and your SOS button. If you push that, then you will get some help if you need it. This vehicle is very comfortable. Tom was asking, is it an alternative to the i7? I guess that depends on how much sport you want compared to luxury. But there it is. You make that decision. You comment and let us know. If there's something else that you want to see, please let us know. And Carrie's Driving Lounge will show it to you. And once again, thank you to Tom for finally hitting 50,000 subscribers. Let Tom know you've seen that, and congratulate Tom on his accomplishment. He works pretty hard. See you next time, folks.
And here's a quick look at your ambient lighting in case you are curious to see how that looks in the dark. We promised you we would give you as best of a look as we could, and you can see what's here. There's quite a bit you can do. You can have a solid color. You can have colors that fade from one to the next. As you can see, there is what the driver's display looks like. You can also see how things look over here onto the driver's door itself. Quite a bit going on here. Could probably make a good 2-hour video. We're not going to do that, but there's a lot to see. And another big advantage to what we have here in this darker atmosphere is that we can show you the lighting surrounding the grille right here. That has a really nice look to it. Really gives it something that so many other vehicles on the road just don't have. Okay, here we go on our test drive. We're gonna just hop out here for just a second here and have a little fun. Woo! That's pretty impressive.
Wow.
And the sound is pretty impressive as well, because you definitely don't have to worry about whether or not you can actually hear something. That makes it a little bit more of a fun experience because of the fact that it's not just quiet. Although I will say this, and it would be very difficult to get the sounds, but you can hear the suspension and the shocks and everything working if you're standing outside of the vehicle when it's just driving around. It's just hard to get all that off of this lapel microphone, but one way or another, I'll tell you what, this is fun to drive. I think once you get all of the dropping the quiet pedal, I guess it's not really appropriate to call it a loud pedal, the quiet pedal, a few times, you probably get it out of your system and realize, you know what, I don't want to use my charge capacity up so quickly, and so that's just one of those things to think about. But either way, a very fun car to drive, definitely has a sporty feel to it, and it has a comfortable ride quality, maybe more so than you might expect. With a shorter wheelbase than the i7, you'd probably think, yeah, a lot of the time shorter wheelbase vehicles don't ride as well. Now let's just cruise on down the road a little bit here and we'll just see how it goes. A little bit of a road noise test too, because the road we're about to be on is not exactly smooth. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, you can hear some things. But it's not too bad. Obviously, we have it as quiet as possible in here for the test drive so that you can hear what's going on. I'm going to do something very quickly here. We're going to drop down to 30 miles per hour and do a 30 roll. Let's see how we do. That seems to be the sweet spot on these EVs for some reason. I don't know why, but if you ever want to really find out how your EV runs, just go from 30 miles per hour. That's what a 30 roll is, for those who may not know. Maybe we should challenge this little Trax right here to a race. I don't think that's going to work too well.
She's texting and driving.
Oh, never mind. She wasn't paying attention. She was texting and talking about seeing a BMW i5 on the road to one of her friends. She couldn't wait till she was at a stop. You actually get a very different sound when you're in expressive mode, and we should be able to hear it a little bit better here now that we're in a different spot here. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do is we'll just go up Leonard Road right here. Just giving you a little bit of an experience with the sights and sounds. We'll let you listen.
Sounds like a train from in here.
That is really interesting. I hope that my lapel mic picked that up well for everybody. But just trying to give you an idea of what you can expect to have here. These are some of the same features and functions that you'll find with the i7 as well. But if you're that person that's saying, you know what, I'm trying to make a decision. Do I really want as large of a sedan as the i7, or maybe something a little smaller like the i5? This will give you a good idea of some of the differences. In fact, you can watch both of our videos and see some of the differences. So tell me what you think about this 2024 BMW i5 M60. Is it a great alternative to the i7? Well, that's going to obviously depend on a lot of things, depending on who you are in your situation. So tell me what your thoughts are down in the comments section. I do want to say a special thanks to our friends at Orr BMW for loaning us this model for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button, the like button for us. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on all of the notifications, that way you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out that video right there on the screen, and we'll see you there.